The presenters of the show, Sonority, would like to thank Senior Helpers of Santa Barbara In-Home Companions for their generous help and support in making the following television program for seniors and their families possible. Senior Helpers of Santa Barbara In-Home Companions, website at www.seniorhelpers.com.
But what we do is, on the one hand, I meet with directors of nonprofits and I say, well, what do you guys need? How are you doing? What do you need people to do? And then I go out and talk to seniors and try and tell them, hey, this organization needs this other organization needs that. And by recommending very reputable organizations, they feel better. Like, it's not like, who is this group that I'm going?
Right.
But if I'm able to talk to them and say, listen, we've met with these people, we have a working agreement with them, they're a very worthwhile organization, this would be a great volunteer opportunity, they feel better. So we bring people together like that with these organizations. And I have some new ones that are pretty impressive.
Well, tell us about your new ones.
There's Food from the Heart. Have you heard of them?
Food from the Heart. I don't think
They do a wonderful service. They provide meals for about 130 needy families every week. And there's no cost to the families. The volunteers come in and they do a variety of tasks. They clean and chop up the vegetables. They help in the kitchen to make soups and whatever the meal is. They make a set of meals so somebody would have food for an entire week. Then other volunteers take the food out of the oven and wherever and wrap it up safely, cleanly, and put it in bags, and then it's delivered. So they're looking for drivers too. They need help with that. And that's home delivered.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So that's a lot of families that get a number of meals that will carry them through 4 or 5 days. It's tremendous help. Another one is called People's Self-Help. Now, People's Self-Help is actually in the housing business for low-income people. Well, what they found is that some of the low-income families they have, the kids come home from school, and maybe they're not doing so well in class. Well, they started a tutoring program for the kids in their housing programs. And so they need people to come in after school and work with the kids, you know, help them with their reading and their writing, whatever their homework might be. That's a wonderful opportunity.
All ages, the children?
Well, the kids are mainly elementary, some junior high, but younger children, basically elementary school kids. Okay.
Oh, great.
And so if someone out there is interested in helping kids, and it's very worthwhile, here's a very nice opportunity to do that. Another one who's doing the same thing at the same kind of place is Hope School, which started a partnership with St. Vincent's.
Oh, really?
Are you familiar with St. Vincent's?
Hope School, but not St. Vincent's, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's over, you know where Lacumbra Road comes down from Lake Cachuma and meets with the 101? Well, right there is St. Vincent's Community, and it's a low-income residential complex. They have seniors, but they also have a lot of low-income families.
Okay.
Well, these families have a lot of kids that need tutoring. And so Hope School has been trying to find people to come in with after-school tutoring to help these kids with their homework.
Great.
So, just like People's Self-Help. So those are 2 school programs.
And a lot of people enjoy working with children, so I can see how that would have a lot of appeal for people.
Let me mention one other school-related one. There's a program called Partners in Education that we work with. Partners in Education is more of an official program tied to the Santa Barbara schools. So they work officially with all the public schools, high schools, junior high schools, and elementary schools throughout Santa Barbara. And they get requests from teachers. So if you were, let's say, a 3rd grade teacher, and you said, I need somebody to help me in the classroom, you just don't go floundering around out there. You call, you're supposed to call Partners in Education. It's an office at the Department of Ed.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they try and find volunteers for the teachers.
And perhaps there's retired teachers that...
Yes. And the assignment is not necessarily tutoring. It's you're assigned to a classroom and a teacher, and whatever that teacher needs help with that day.
I used to be a teacher. I was a special education teacher, so that would have been wonderful.
Sometimes it's nice to have somebody come in
Oh, it's fabulous.
and lend a hand.
That would be wonderful.
Well, and we have a name for this new program that they've started there. It's called the Classroom Corps. And we're trying to get seniors to be part of the Classroom Corps and go in. And they try and pick a school that's close to the person's home.
Yes. So this is your appeal out there to
Yes.
ask for this help.
Yes. I've got one or two more.
Oh, you keep going.
Okay. There's one that really fascinates me. It's called Nature Track. They just got started. There's a lady in the Santa Ynez Valley who discovered that the local schools up there, and also in Santa Barbara, because of budget cuts, have cut field trips.
Oh.
And as you know, as a former teacher, field trips can be very, very beneficial for students.
Absolutely.
Well, especially in a place like the Santa Ynez Valley, which has beautiful hiking trails in the mountains and the parks and whatever. Well, she said, why don't we get classrooms of kids? We'll pay for the buses. They come out to some part of the Santa Ynez Valley or here in Santa Barbara, and we'll take them on a hike. That's it. That's the long and the short of it. Teach kids about nature.
Yes.
And by taking them on a hike.
Well, they can learn so much that way.
And
How
they
wonderful.
need volunteers. They don't want just like one or two people leading a hike because it's a whole classroom of kids. They need a number of adults to walk with the kids. And some of these adults that have volunteered already there, you know, they know, maybe someone knows about flowers, or maybe they know about local birds, and they can talk to the kids about the things that they know. And the seniors love doing that.
Oh, absolutely.
So it's called Nature Track. We're looking for volunteers to help Nature Track. And that's just going out maybe once a month and hiking along with this group of kids.
Oh, it would be so fun.
And it's good for the senior too to be out hiking.
Absolutely.
And one more, if I may. Reagan Ranch. The Reagan Ranch Center down on Lower State Street, right by the train station, called me just a couple of weeks ago. They have docents who are volunteers that come in and lead visitors around the museum. Well, they're expanding the museum, and they need to double their number of docents.
Wow.
So they've come to us and said, can you help us find some more volunteers?
And that could be a very interesting volunteer position for someone.
Yes, it's very enjoyable. You learn about, let's say, what's happening at a particular museum, in this case, the Reagan Ranch Museum. You meet all these new people that come in, you talk, you share your knowledge. It can be a lot of fun.
It's wonderful.
So these are very interesting opportunities. And there's tons of museums. Maritime Museum has called me. They need help. Natural History Museum. Santa Barbara Historical Society. Goleta Historical Society. They need people to come in and be docents or just filing. Right. Sometimes they need someone behind the desk to take tickets and answer phone.
I just love these opportunities for children and seniors to work together, because our seniors have so much wisdom to share, and it's so great when they can pass along that wisdom.
Yeah, and I think our society doesn't provide enough opportunities like that.
No.
So you have kids and you have seniors.
Let's get them together.
And if you can get them together, there are tremendous benefits for both of them.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Boy, you have a wonderful job.
Well, thank you.
It sounds fascinating.
Well, I'm here. I'm trying to beat the bushes. I'm trying to, let me tell you one story that makes my job significant. There have been studies trying to find out why people volunteer or why they don't. And some people just have never really gotten into volunteering. And the most striking finding for me was their answer to a simple question. Why don't you volunteer? 70% of the people who said, answered that question, why I don't volunteer, they said, well, nobody ever asked me. That's all it takes.
Here it goes. Let's
I'm the
ask.
one who is out there trying to ask, you know, there are a lot of groups out there that need you. There's kids that need you. There's a lot of programs that are hurting in our community
Right.
that need help.
So, everybody out there, if you haven't been asked before, and that's why you haven't volunteered, now you've been asked.
I am asking, please
for help.
step up to the plate.
Yes.
And one of the other things about RSVP is I try and match the time and talents. Some people come in and say, you know, I'm a former teacher, I'd like to work with schools. Somebody says, well, I was an attorney, I'd like to do some kind of
Sure.
legal thing maybe, or some people say, well, I can volunteer every day, and other people say, well, I've got maybe one day a month.
Right.
So I try and match them with a site that is of interest to them and also suits their time commitment. And so I try and make it simpler and easier for them to find a volunteer place that fits them, that is of interest to them, and that they would enjoy.
Well, I'm pretty busy, but even I think I could spare one day a month, so maybe we can figure something out.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that
we
sounds
would love to have
wonderful.
you as a volunteer.
All right.
Thank you so much, and thanks for being our guest today. I
Well,
really,
thank
really
you.
appreciate
Thank you for having me.
Okay, thanks, Frank.
This show has been brought to you by Senior Helpers of Santa Barbara County, providing care and comfort at a moment's notice. If you'd like to contact Senior Helpers, you can go to their website, www.seniorhelpers.com, or phone them at 805-966-7100.